Hey, what's up? My name's Davey, and I want to show you how you can warp a vocal a cappella in Ableton Live. Check it out. Okay, so first thing you want to do is drag the a cappella into Ableton. Let's just pretend you don't know the tempo. This is kind of what this lesson's about. So if I'm just going to try to listen to this record, I want to kind of tap my foot along and make sure that my foot is going to be in time with the vocal, if you can do that. So we'll just have a quick listen to it.
Bank ghetto, mommy's on deck, got the spirit of a winner. Ice on my neck, face set up. When you're done, my head believes to look good in the mirror. Champagne shopping, glitter butter popping.
Okay, so I can hear, if I'm just listening to it, it sounds like champagne, which was somewhere along here, and glitter both have a similar sort of fall where they're falling on the downbeat. And that's going to be really important as your anchor. So like we did with the kick drum on the beats one that I just showed you all, we're going to do the same thing for the vocal one. So I'm just going to drag the flag or the play start button and slide it along until I find either champagne or glitter.
Champagne shopping, glitter butter popping.
One of those two should work, so maybe let's just do glitter, because I guess it doesn't have the sh at the beginning, which can be longer, so even the glitter's a little bit more definitive, so...
Glitter butter popping, they've been catered on my knees the moment that I walked in, comatose.
Cool, so there's my one. Next up, I'm just going to use that as my anchor point. So if I can tap tempo, which is the little tap button up on the top left here, I can then kind of try to find the pulse or the BPM. So I just from listening to it, it's about this fast. So all I gotta do is tap the tap tempo 4 times at that tempo. So let's try that. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
Glitter butter popping.
Now, if I turn the metronome on, let's have a little listen with the metronome. I might turn the vocal down a little bit so we can hear the metronome as well.
Glitter butter popping, they've been catered on my knees the moment that I walked in.
Okay, so as you can see, if you're just looking at the syllables, just here, we've got beat 3. So if we zoom in, you've got beat 1, 2, 3. The a cappella is a little bit behind it. So this is where you can start looking at reading the waveform. If you can, see that the shape is here, we want it to be a little bit earlier. So to do that, I'm just gonna go up to the master tempo, and I'm just gonna drag it down until I get to around about there-ish. Let's see. What's it say? 88? Let's see what that does.
Glitter butter popping, they've been catered on my knees the moment that I walked in. Comatose morning, toast to all the sorry. The doubt is waking up looking a little disappointed. I said, you been fucking with the real shit. Stick with me, I'll put you in the business on the pay.
So it's close. It's really close, but close enough for now. So what we need to next do is press warp. That's going to turn the warp on. And then if I go a little bit further into the song, we'll have a little listen.
Bank ghetto, mommy's on deck, got the spirit of a winner. Ice on my neck, face set up.
So there's weighing, and you can see that's a little bit behind. If I drag that to the left, what does it say now? 87.74 over here. So if we're going to kind of split hairs, what I would normally think is, okay, maybe this was written between the BPM. So maybe it was 87.5, or yeah, I'd say maybe 87.5. So let's just type in 87.5 up here. Now what I can do is I can just hit warp off and then back on again. It's going to ask me if I want to keep the current timing. Yes. And then it's going to automatically set that 87.5 instead. So now we should have, if we go a bit further up the record.
Mommy's on deck, got the spirit of a winner. Ice on my neck, face set up. When you're done, my head believes to look good in the mirror. Yeah, baby, come and top me. Know you can make it sloppy. Don't act.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Killer when I kill shit. They speak my language. That's why we run the same. They would.
All right, mad. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'll just drag the original beat in. So let's just find that here, instrumental, cool. I'm going to bring the a cappella back to 1. So if I zoom it all the way back, let's just have a listen to get in context now with the original, with the beat.
Bank ghetto, mommy's on deck, got the spirit of a winner. Ice on my neck, face set up. When you're done, my head believes to look good in the mirror. Champagne shopping, glitter butter popping. They've been catered on my knees the moment.
So obviously this beat is the same and it's going to be working in the tempo, but the idea is if you've written a different beat underneath it, when you drag this in, you might find it's rushing a little bit, or it's a little bit ahead or a bit behind the beat, which is all to do with where you've put the first anchor point. So even if it's the right BPM all the way through, if the anchor point is slightly ahead or slightly behind, then you'd have to manually nudge this on the timeline. So obviously you could just slide it. The key command for that is command and left or right arrow. So that's one way to do it. Or you can go over to the track delay like we did in the groove video. You've got this track delay here, and I can manually just nudge it up or down in milliseconds or even in samples if you want to be really super precise. And then I can sort of sit the pocket of the vocal so that it sits right in on the money with the beat.
Mommy's on deck, got the spirit of a winner.
So you can play around with that here and just nudge it up and down until you find where it's just sitting on the money. Hope you enjoyed this video of warping acapellas in Ableton Live. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe for more. Peace!